Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell in the upper right-hand corner. Follow me on all forms of social media. Check me out at thatdrummerguy.com and enjoy the following presentation. Talk about the brand new album from Within Temptation, Resist, which is coming out this Friday through Spinefarm. I've gotten the chance to be able to check out this album, and I really love what is going on with the band right now. I love seeing that a band is going on as long as Within Temptation is able to progress and change the sound as much as you have and still sound as great as ever.
Well, thank you. Then we've succeeded what we tried to do. That's the most, the biggest reason for us to continue as a band is to find new inspiration and also, to evolve in a certain way within certain boundaries, of course. But so if I hear your description of our album, then we did the right thing.
Oh, awesome. So, with that said, how did the songwriting process begin for Resist?
Well, it was actually a very difficult one. I think we've needed time also in a way, because when we back from the Hydro tour, we were a bit worn out, toured a lot, and been away from home for a long time. And when we came back, I normally always go to the studio and immediately start rap after 2 weeks again, because the thing is that when you've been on tour for a long time, all you want to do actually is go into the studio because you're fed up with the songs you've been playing all the time. Although it's been fun, but at the end you do want to have some new things to play and get inspired again and just be in the studio writing songs again. And that's been how we've done it for the last 23 years. Every time we've done a tour we did at a certain time, we went back into the studio and I was full of energy, and not just me but everyone. And this time everybody was just worn out, very tired, and needed really a break from the invitation, I guess, to really find a new direction, also find new inspiration, because in the metal scene and rock scene at that time we didn't feel that something was really inspirational in a way for us to make, to be inspired to find a new direction somehow. So I think eventually it took us 5 years to write a new album, which is even long for us, and we always take already our time to write a new album. But this time it was extra long, and it was also for that reason that we really needed to think about, give it time also. Like wine, it needs a certain time to evolve and get the taste right, So that's the same with an album sometimes, and it's always for us a big search to find the first piece of the puzzle of which will be like the guidelines for all the other songs. So the first song to write that's really in the right direction is always like, that's a huge step, and always takes a lot of effort and a lot of searching and a lot of writing also. We write a lot of songs, and a lot of it ends up in the trash bin. So it's in the waste bin, I must say. And so it was a long journey for us. And but in the meantime, I also did something else, what's called My Indigo, and that really helped us to find a new direction for Within Temptation. My Indigo was a solo project I did for myself, and it was more urban influenced, like singer-songwriter, urban, alternative kind of music. And that project really helped us to write also within the new Within Temptation album, because of the fact I had to go out of my comfort zone and really rediscover music in a different way again, look at different genres. And I think a part of the production that we did for My Indigo, and also time-wise how we do rhythms for certain songs, made this album more groovy than any album that we've ever done before. We never were a groovy band, but this time, so these steps were very important for us in the meantime.
Yeah, and I was actually going to bring that up later, but I'm a huge fan of what you did with My Indigo, and it's so great to see that again, like I mentioned before, like a band that's been around as long as Within Temptation is able to still evolve and grow as a band, rather than feeling like they have to write a particular style or feel like they're making stale music. You guys are going out there and just like getting out of your comfort zone and writing new music in a new style, but still having that Within Temptation flair to it. And that's what I'm hearing throughout this entire album. I mean, I mean, from the second that I heard The Reckoning and just like hearing your voice over something that had that much groove over top of it, and then let alone being able to hear the rest of the album like that, I mean, it's great to hear that a band can evolve like that. I mean, I love hearing that.
Oh, super. Thank you. I'm really happy to talk to you tonight.
Oh, definitely. So with that said, I mean, obviously with the band yourselves, I mean, obviously making this album the best that you can, much like previous albums, you got some tremendous guest stars on this album. What was it like to get who you did on this album?
Well, it's always when we write an album, it's always like, okay, we evaluate at a certain point, sometimes a bit late, and this time it was quite late actually. For instance, for Jacoby, I met him like 4 years ago, something like that, at Graspop, which is a grass pop, which is a huge festival in Belgium, one of the biggest metal festivals in Europe. And he was backstage, and we were located just next to each other. And I ran into him, and I had a conversation about art and what he does for the band, and I know the band. He knew my band as well, so that was really nice to see that he also knows us. And but I've always checked out their music throughout time, but we never met before, even though we were playing the same festivals, but always on a different day and that kind of thing. So we never ran into each other, and it was really nice. It's always how cool it is to meet somebody you really like, the music you like, and then to find out that the person in the band, I didn't meet the whole band, I just met him actually, and find out he's such a nice guy. That's such a. I also have met some other people which were the opposite. It's like, so I was really happy that he's a nice guy actually, and because I like the music so much, and if you sometimes meet somebody you don't like afterwards, then I don't listen to the music or can't listen to the music anymore. That's how it works for me sometimes. Like, well, maybe you can identify with that. But
Sure.
it's so I was really happy meeting him, and when we had wrote the song and had recorded everything already with my vocals, and it was 2 weeks before we were going to shoot the video in Spain, and we were like, oh my God, we should have asked Jacoby to sing on it. And Robert said, yeah, why not? Why not still ask him? Maybe he likes it, and maybe he likes the song. It's more than ever. I think we have a more of an American sound, especially to The Reckoning, I think, and that will be maybe he will like it. So we sent the song to the management, and in a very short while we were actually talking to him also. But it was really nice, and we had a nice conversation about the music, and he liked the song. So he said, yeah, I'm a bit short in my time because I'm making my own album and with the band again, and I'm fully booked, and so, but I'm gonna try to do this in between, and he did find time eventually, so that was really nice. And and he really brings really a lot to the song. I think it really gives that necessary edge that you need sometimes, and that's always also something we like very much. It's like, it's nice to be able to just send a song to a management, and it's like also meeting him, of course, a few years before that. It's nice to that you can just, how cool it is just to work with other people from slightly the same kind of thing, and just for fun. It's also fun, it's a lot of fun to be working with somebody. It's just music-wise, it's so nice to have that, and that we're able to do that. And so that was a really nice experience to work with him.
Oh yeah, and the great thing with him as well is, I mean, it's a great example of a band who's never released the same album twice and is like always constantly changing and evolving their sound. So even in a roundabout way, that's got to be a great inspiration, going forward and seeing other bands that always want to change their sound and write what they feel is going to be right at the time, which is what you guys are doing right now.
Yeah, although the music is very different, but I do think that you're totally right. They're evolving also very much from the band they were until now. They have made several changes also throughout time, and that makes them, of course, a very interesting band I think for everybody.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And it's like I was surprised because when I first saw the single release, it's like, wow, I never would have imagined like this kind of collaboration happening. But the more that I listen to the song, it's just like your voices pair so perfectly together. It just fits so perfectly for The Reckoning, and it really sets the tone of what the album is about. Because I mean, when you hear the other guest spots that are happening throughout the album, and of course the different styles that are going on throughout the album, it shows this change in the band, and it shows this great diversity and inspiration. It's a very inspired album, and it's great to hear that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, well, I must say that he really does bring another flavor again than the other vocalists that we asked to participate on the other songs, and that's also so very nice. That there's so much difference also between them, and that makes a nice change every time.
Yeah, and again, even with it being 5 years between albums and stuff like that, just the fact that there is that much inspiration and creativity that's going on throughout the album, and seeing where you guys are at right now, I just imagine that it's going to be a great feeling knowing that the album is coming out this Friday, and getting out there and being able to play this album or play songs off the album live and being able to incorporate that into the set.
Yeah, well, actually, I have done already a full European and Russian tour actually already. So we've done already like a complete tour already over here, and that's a bit different from normally what we do, because normally the tour starts after you've released the album. But we did it the other way around this time, and it actually. But for America, yeah, the album is going to be just released, and then we're going to go to America, which is just fits the timing very right. And then we're looking forward to that as well, especially because we're taking In Flames with us on tour as a special guest, and looking forward to that as well. So it's going to be a nice new adventure for us playing at your country again, and with them also. So we have been playing already for a big tour already over here, and played already 5 songs live from the new album.
Oh, that's incredible. And it's great to see that you're already getting those songs roadworthy now. I mean, being able to get that throughout Europe and Russia, and of course coming over to the States with In Flames. I mean, again, another band that's evolved their sound so much and is still very much a hardworking, creative band like In Flames. So when that does come to North America, that's going to be a great feeling to see 2 bands like that on one stage in one night.
Well, I think the tickets are going very fast, and that's something you always hope for, but you're never sure, of course. But so I'm looking forward to this tour as well, because it's going to be just a good 5 with sold-out shows. I'm looking forward to that.
So with that in mind, obviously with being able to play some of the new songs live already, what has been the reception to the new songs in the live set?
Well, the thing is, once you play them once live, we started in Russia, in Siberia, of all places, and I think 1 or 2 days after that, everybody already was sharing the music, of course, the live versions of these 5 songs, and so everywhere we came, people were already singing along because they had listened already so much to the songs, which was incredible. And but I must say the response was intense, especially in certain countries like Russia and like Denmark and in Poland, and so it was people were very expressive during these songs. But the ones that popped out most are the first songs we released also. So like The Reckoning and Raise Your Banner are the most definitely the favorites, and I think Mercy Mirror as well. And the others are also very good reaction to it. But you feel which songs really, really stand out, and that's I think the first 3 I just mentioned.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and I'm glad to see so soon after the release of the album that you're going to be coming back here to the States. I still remember a few years back, still one of my favorite shows I've been to was Within Temptation and Amaranth in Minnesota. I mean, you guys were just on another level, being able to support the previous album, and just like the crowd there was just incredible. And I just know that's going to be happening again when you guys come back here to Minnesota. And of course, with having a band like In Flames opening for you guys, and then a full-on Within Temptation set, I mean, that's just going to be an incredible night.
Well, it's going to be a lot of energy, I think. I'm looking forward to that, yeah, especially with In Flames. They're going to be so cool, and for us also a great band to enjoy before the show ourselves. So I'm looking forward to that so much.
Oh, definitely. So with all this in mind, I mean, being able to do some more solo work like My Indigo, and being able to take the band Within Temptation into a bit of a different direction, but a very forward-thinking direction, what is it like for you creatively to be able to spread your wings a bit more musically?
Well, it's always, we've always tried it, but sometimes it works better than the other times, of course, and I think we tried to do the same with Hydra, but we didn't make so much a step forward at the time as we had hoped we did, looking back on it now. And I think with this album, it just the pieces just came together. I think sometimes you have to make smaller steps to be able to make a bigger step forward, like with this album for Resist, I think. And My Indigo was something also, one of those between steps that I needed to make to get production-wise and also songwriting-wise where we are now with Resist, and not just me, but everybody. I worked with the same producer that I do for My Indigo as for with Invitation. So we, and also Robert, evolved, or we got into that kind of new vibe of new sounds and other different music that inspired us. So I think that really helped as songwriting, in the songwriting process, in the production area as well. So it's all these small steps sometimes result in a bigger step eventually for another record.
Oh, definitely. And yeah, I can just imagine how much that it helps, just like breaking down those barriers of what a band feels like it needs to be or something like that, and just like being able to just make the music that you want to make, and of course having the response that the fan base does. I mean, being in the live setting, being online, whatever the case is, like seeing the overwhelmingly great reception to what's going on with Within Temptation right now. I mean, I can't wait to see what's going to be happening forward, be it Within Temptation, be it My Indigo, or anything else that's going on with you in the future.
Yeah, well, you never know what the future will bring. So it's always for us. It's we hope to maintain this kind of progress with the development that we did with this album, because we liked the direction so much. But it's music is a very organic thing, so you never know what the next step will be eventually. And I hope we will be able to continue to go along with new developments. That's always the biggest achievement for us to evolve. Yeah, that's the nicest thing, and to get inspired by new things again. So I hope there will be a lot of bands out there that will do a lot of new cool stuff, and that everyone gets inspired again by everyone. That would be so cool.
Yeah, that's such a great thing to take away, especially from this album. I mean, let alone what you're capable of on this album. I mean, the great songwriting, the great vocals, the great appearances that are going on here, and I imagine when I get the opportunity to be able to see you guys again coming up here and getting to experience those songs live, I mean, just the fact that you might be able to help other bands show that they can be more creative, that they can go in these other directions. I mean, sometimes it doesn't work out, but when it does work out, it's that getting rid of that fear of feeling like you can't do these things and just going for it and trying it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, the metal scene is, of course, a special one, and meaning like it's difficult sometimes to explore a little bit because people feel there are certain rules you shouldn't cross. But I think we needed to maintain the scene because, like I said, I think there haven't been many bands since. Well, I think, to my personal opinion, I think that Linkin Park was the last band actually who did something that was really an eye-opener for a lot of bands. Like, oh, that's cool. And they made a crossover and between two styles, and which was such a milestone where I think most of them didn't dare to go, but eventually saw, oh, that's pretty cool actually how they did it. That was amazing. And a lot of other bands got inspired by that indirectly or directly. And I think we need bands like that, bands who, there could be any band, it's like, it's nice if people do try something different. And you can see that these boundaries are not that solid for any scene, not even for the metal scene.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And again, I really hope that does happen, even if it's in a roundabout way, with what you guys are doing here within Temptation, and of course the brand new album Resist coming out on Friday. Just the fact that pushing those boundaries of what a band can be, rather than feeling like you're stigmatized into one style, and just being yourselves and making the music that you want to make. And I mean, whether you go heavier, whether you go more mainstream, whether you go into a completely different style of music, I mean, as long as it has that authenticity, like something like Resist, I mean, at least personally for that creative mind, it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for, and it's just it's something that you need that challenge. You need that challenge also to keep continuing to have fun, because I think the closer you stay to yourself, it's the most important thing. And if you like what you're doing, it will come across on stage as well. And no matter what kind of music you make and what kind of development you make as well.
Oh, very much so. So again, with everything that's going on within Temptation right now, of course, again, the new album coming out on Friday, some great touring that just happened over in Europe and Russia, and of course the tour that's coming up here in the States with In Flames. Is there anything else that's being worked on in 2019 so far?
Well, we're going to have a very busy schedule when we come back, and because then the festivals start here over in Europe as well, and we've got like 30 festivals all over Europe. It's going to be at least, so it's going to be a very busy schedule for us. I think we're going to be away for a long time during those 2 months that we're actually having the festival season. So, but I'm looking forward to that very much. And after that, we're not sure yet what we're going to do, because there are some options to go to Australia or South America or Japan, some other Asian countries. So we have to look into that. But there's also the option to, instead of immediately tour everywhere, we can also start riding again. So that's also an option that we're keeping open. Maybe just to keep on touring, of course, but maybe spread it out a little bit more in the next coming years. And then in between, ride a little bit more so we can give more in the meantime also, and can sooner come with a new album as well. So that's something that's also on our mind. But we haven't decided yet what we're going to do. So if we're not going to tour after the summer, don't be worried. We're going to be there anyway, somewhere, maybe again in America or somewhere else. And but it's going to want to have more time also to ride in between and to spread it out a little bit better and keep that pace going for the direction that we've set so far.
Oh, that's awesome. And I can't wait to see what you guys are going to be doing in the future. I mean, whether you want to be able to support a great album like Resist that much more, or you already have those creative juices going where you do want to focus on a new album so it comes out a little sooner. I mean, whatever direction that you guys go into, I'm excited to see where it's going to be going. And again, if the band is going in a direction like Resist is going in right now, I just know that things are just going to keep getting bigger and better for Within Temptation.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Oh, sure thing. And I think with that, that's a great note to end on. And thank you so very much for taking all this time to be able to talk to me about everything going on in your world, including the brand new album from Within Temptation, Resist, which is coming out this Friday through Spinefarm. I love the album from start to finish. I love the direction that you guys are going in. It's got me so excited to experience the songs live and being able to see where you guys are at now in 2019 and everything that's going to be coming up in the future.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you for your time. And until next time, hopefully one of the shows you'll be there and we might meet.